Okay, for today in class, you're going to need a compass, a pair of scissors, one sheet of blank paper, and a copy of the notes. I'm crossing off textbook. You're not going to need that at all today. Once you have that, go ahead and go hit play and move on. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the area of circles. And I know most of you could probably tell me what the formula for the area of the circle is, but what I like to do in honors geometry is talk about why these formulas work the way they work. I don't know if you've been doing that all along, but I'm going to kind of build on that today. So first thing I want you to do, step one here, I want you to go ahead and draw a circle. So use your compass, draw a large circle, cut it out. Okay, so draw your large circle, cut it out, and then what I want you to do is I want you to fold it in half. So literally just fold it in half, cut along that line, or you can tear it, however you want to do it. Take each of those halves, cut it in half. Take each of those fourths now, in half and in half, until you have, oh geez, that was bad, but until you have 16 pieces. Okay, so I want 16 wedges. So go ahead and do that, pause the video, and once you're done, then you can hit play. All right, so now that you have 16 wedges, what I'd like you to do is arrange them on your table so that they're going in opposite directions. So it's going to look something like this. Okay, so you're just going to keep arranging them. They look something like this. I'm not going to do all 16, but so that you have all 16 pieces. Okay, so you're just alternating them. And what we're going to do is we're going to break down this shape in order to relate it back to a circle. All right, so what I want you to think about is all these curved parts here. That's really the outside of the circle, right? The outside of the circle is the circumference. So this part down here is 1/2 of my circumference, which is 2 pi r. Now the other part I want you to think about is this piece right here. This is a radius, right? We know that's a radius. This overall shape that we put together with our curved pieces looks very similar to a parallelogram. Okay, so we know the area of a parallelogram is equal to base times height. Okay, well my base in this case is 1/2 of 2 pi r. My height is my radius, which is just r. So if I clean this up, 1/2 times 2, that's just 1. So I have pi times r, or pi r squared. Okay, so you can fill this in terms of, this is your formula for the area of a circle. Area equals pi r squared. Again, I know you could have Googled it. I know a lot of you probably knew it, but I want you to understand where that came from. This is just another explanation and just kind of drawn out for you in case you didn't get that all put together. So you can read through that if you want. All right, a small circle has a diameter of 8 inches and a large circle has a radius of 5 inches. By how many square inches is the large circle bigger than the smaller circle? All right, so let's start with our smaller circle. So it says it has a diameter of 8 inches, which means my radius is 4 inches. So my area is equal to pi times my radius squared, or 4 squared. So that is 16 pi square inches. And I'm just going to leave it in terms of pi. We did this with circumference as well. There's no need to type it into my calculator at this point. All right, so now let's look at our large circle. It says it has a radius of 5. So my radius is 5. So area equals pi times 5 squared, or 5 squared is 25 pi square inches. So it wants to know how much larger is the large circle. So I really just need to take 25 pi, subtract 16 pi. That gives me 9 pi square inches. So it's 9 pi square inches larger than the smaller circle. And that right there is another reason to leave it in terms of pi, because I didn't have to pull out a calculator at all for any of that. Okay, last example. The area of the circle to the right is 256 pi square meters. What's the circumference? Okay, so I want to know circumference, but I really got to find the radius first. All right, so I know area is equal to pi r squared. The area in my case is 256 pi, right? So I want to solve for r squared. I can divide both sides by pi. So pi divided by pi is 1. So I have 256 equals r squared. Take the square root of both sides, I get my radius is 16. Now I can use that to solve for my circumference, right? We know that circumference is 2 pi r. So it's 2 times pi times 16, or 16 times 2 is 32 pi meters. Okay, so you're just going to be practicing with areas of circles today. Tomorrow we're going to add another component to that. So all of your work today is going to be on a worksheet.